Hey guys, what's up? This is Cole from Fobri here, and today we are going to be talking about that age-old question, which is better, Mac or PC? So let's get started. So we're going to be covering a numerous amount of categories, so to say, comparing the two between, or comparing Mac and PC within each of those respective categories. So, just kind of an overview. Mac and PC, Macintosh was founded by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak back in the 70s, I believe, and they had an idea where simplicity, or at least Steve Jobs, the current CEO, had an idea where simplicity was the key. He was not a programmer, so he kind of focused on the design aspect of things, and he wanted, the most simplistic stuff. He wanted everything to be sleek and beautiful, quite to say. Where Bill Gates, founder of Microsoft, was former CEO. He was more focused on the internals of the machine and how it performed, and he still is today, or was today. So our first category we're going to be covering is the price aspect of it, or what you're getting with what you pay. So yeah, let's get started with that. Okay, so the price aspect is quite mainly the deciding factor that most people kind of just shoo off, be like, oh no, it doesn't really matter, but it does, especially for what you're paying for. So obviously when I say PC, I mean a Windows run computer, whether that be XP, Vista 7, or an older model, quite frankly. But Windows has licensed its OS to many programs, or many companies such as, Dell, HP, Acer, Compaq, Toshiba, whatever you want to think of. That's what most people consider as a PC. And on the other hand, a Mac would be something made by Apple with running the Snow Leopard, Tiger, so may to be Lion, soon to be Lion operating system. And that's what most people consider as a Mac. Now, the Mac has a much thinner, to say, source of computers. They only have about 4 or 5 options that you can pick from, whereas a PC has many companies making Windows-based operating systems, or Windows-based computers, excuse me. Now, the Mac has the MacBook Air. They have the MacBook, which is undoubtedly their baseline, so to say. The MacBook Pro, which is their most popular computer, the iMac, the Mac Pro, and the Mac Mini. That is about 6 computers, 6 or 7 computers made by Apple that run Leopard or Snow Leopard. Now, on the other hand, there are plenty of PC computers out there, such as I said before, ones made by Dell, HP, Compaq, blah, 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 and so on. There's plenty of companies, over hundreds of computers, that are considered a PC, where there's only 6 or 7 made by Mac. Now, the price points for the Apple computers are typically a little higher because they don't have as many computers to make money off of. Now, when you're buying a Mac, you know what you're paying for. You're going to get a sleek interface, a sleek exterior, quite frankly, a great user interface. Most programs that are made for Mac are typically design programs. When I say design programs, I mean something like an Adobe Photoshop or Final Cut Pro. They don't have as many superior programs on a PC as they say on a Mac. Now, when you're buying a PC, on the other hand, it's going to be slightly less expensive because Windows and the companies that Windows license their operating system to, Windows has a lot more. How should I word this? Windows has a lot more companies to go to with their operating system rather than Apple. Windows distributes their OS to, as I said before, Dell, HP, Compaq, so on and so forth. Now, something like a Dell Inspiron, something like that, that's going to be almost half the price of a MacBook because they can sell so many more. And they have so many other competitors within the PC realm than Apple does. Apple has a MacBook Pro, a MacBook and a MacBook Air. That's the three laptops they make. Whereas PC has hundreds of laptops that they make. That's why their prices are cut in half. Now, when you're buying a PC, you're going to be paying for something such as a workhorse, so to say. You know, you're going to be running Microsoft Word. You're going to be browsing. You're going to be what else? You're going to be doing PowerPoints, something like that. That's more of a business computer. Now, it can be used as a design computer by all means, and the same way with Mac. They can be used as a workhorse as well. But typically, you will get a Mac so that you can be a designer, and you will get a PC for a business application. And as I said before, they can be intertwined. You can have both of them at the same time. I'm not one to holding you back. I've had both myself. In fact, I have a Mac behind me right there. But I have had a PC in the past, and I traded up. And as you guys may have saw in the last video, I'm going to be trading up to an iMac, and we'll do an unboxing of that when I get it. Okay, so the second category we're going to be covering is the interface of the respective operating systems. So this will be more focused on the interior of the computer rather than the exterior. So let's just start off with Apple. They make a current operating system called Snow Leopard, which is an upgrade from Leopard. However, you can buy Snow Leopard independently and it will run fine. And they will be coming out with Lion hopefully this summer, which should be somewhat of a step up from Snow Leopard, but we won't get into that. So Snow Leopard features something that most people recognize as the dock at the bottom of the screen, which is where your applications will be based, which is kind of a step off, or, well, I suppose you can compare it to the taskbar in Windows 7, which is also at the bottom where you can see your applications that are running. However, the dock has all the applications that you would like, that you use on a frequent basis, such as an internet browser, iTunes, iMovie. Let's say you want to write a Word document. There you go, Microsoft Word. That could be on your dock. Then you have your folders on the, actually either side you want on your desktop. And then on the top it has a menu bar where you can see all your functions of the computer. Now, this is obviously personal preference, but for most people they like a sleek interface, which is what the Mac gives you. Whereas the Windows 7 interface does not give you that much of a sleek interface. Rather, it works. Apple kind of goes above and beyond what most other operating systems, such as Linux, Windows, I don't know, Fedora, I don't care, whatever it is. They kind of go above and beyond that with their interface. And Windows 7 certainly did a nice job. By all means am I not insulting Windows 7. However, I just think, in personal preference, Mac did a better job than Windows 7 did. Now, Windows 7, on the other hand, has a big upgrade from Windows Vista. When no one really liked Windows Vista due to the like bugginess of it, due to the lagginess, the slow, how slow it was, what it looked like, whatever it was, the customers didn't seem to appreciate Windows Vista. I myself didn't like it either, but Windows 7 was it kind of brought Microsoft into the modern era, so to say. Windows Vista was supposed to do that because it was the jump from XP, but it didn't really work out that well, so Windows 7 was kind of their big new update in their operating system line. Windows 7 is a very nice operating system, do not get me wrong, I like it a lot, but it is not my favorite. I prefer Mac OS X, Leopard, Snow Leopard, and possibly even Lion. We'll see how it turns out. So let's move on to our next category. Okay, so our last and final category, category 3, will be kind of the internals of the computer, like what you can get for what you pay for. Now, again, this is going to be more, a bit biased because Apple only has 7 or 8 computers that they can sell, while Windows, on the other hand, has hundreds and hundreds. But anyway, we'll go with it. So Apple has a feature on their website when you're buying a computer, new or refurbished, where you can select what is going to be in the computer, so to say. Let's say you want an i5 processor. Well, you can't pick that, but let's say you want 2 500GB hard drives in your iMac. By all means, you go ahead. Companies have bought onto this within the PC realm, where you can do this now on a PC. Where it's similar now, now it is similar that you can customize features on the Apple and the PC, or the Mac and the PC. But this idea was typically started by Apple, which is really where I'm going to give Apple the edge here. And again, I'm being biased as well because I do have a Mac. But I did have a PC at one point and I traded up. Or I consider trading up. Anyway, the perspective of a Mac user would see, oh, PC can have the same amount of stuff I can, what's the difference? And a PC user would say, oh, I can get the same amount of stuff that you can, but I can get it for cheaper. That's not always the case. When you compare a laptop that has the same specs as a MacBook Pro, an i5, a 500 gig hard drive, let's say it's a 2.87 processor, you're going to be paying roughly like, I'd say $1,700. Yes, a PC is going to be cheaper, but you're not paying typically for the internals of the computer. You're paying for the operating system and the internals. I mean, you obviously know what you're getting when you buy a Mac, and you know what you're getting with a PC, and you're gonna, you know, it's your choice. But what you can get with a Mac is the same thing you can get as a PC. You can get an i3, an i5, an i7. You can get all those processors on both operating systems. You can get the same amount of hard drive space. You can get the same processor speed. You can get, it's really all the same. It's really what you're getting in the operating system is what really makes a difference. Which is why it's called Mac versus PC and not Apple versus Microsoft. Because it's really the operating system that makes a difference with what you're buying. Now, yes, a PC is going to be cheaper. But, as I said before, you're not paying for the your specs. You're paying for the operating system, which is what most people realize before they buy a Mac.
So we hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, you got to check out the links. Our website is www.fobri.com. Our Twitter is www.twitter.com/FobriReviews. And you can just search for us on Facebook, MySpace, and Dig. And we are the first results that come up. As always, our RSS feeds are on our site on the sidebar. And we want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Alright, bye.